Today, we're not going to talk about a famous emperor or a legendary general. Instead, we're turning our attention to the people history often forgets. The shopkeepers, the labourers, the mothers, slaves and soldiers, the ones who built Rome and barely survived it. Because daily life in ancient Rome wasn't carved in marble. It was lived in heat, filth, noise and struggle. You wake before the sun rises, not because of an alarm, but because of the shouting in the street. The voices of cart drivers echo off the narrow stone walls of the alley below. The wheel of a wooden cart strikes a pothole loudly. You shift on the straw mattress beneath you. It rustles and something, a small insect or worse, scuttles away beneath the rough linen. Your bed is simple, a plank, a mat and some straw. You itch, always. Lice, maybe fleas. Everyone has them. The air in the room is close, heavy with the smell of sweat and smoke. You live on the 3rd floor of a crumbling insula, a Roman apartment block made of plastered brick and timber, dry as parchment and just as flammable. Fires break out often. You hope today is not one of those days. You swing your feet down to the cold stone floor. There's no bath, no toilet, no kitchen, not here. You share a latrine with the entire block. Dozens of people, maybe more. The communal foraker is downstairs, and it's already full of the noise of morning. You clutch your tunic and try not to breathe too deeply as you descend. The smell hits you before you even turn the corner. Inside, there's a row of stone seats with keyhole openings, no partitions. A sponge on a stick sits in a basin of sour vinegar. That sponge is shared. You rinse it before you use it. Or maybe you don't. It depends how tired you are. Back in your room, you dress. There's no soap, no toothpaste. You splash your face with cold water from a cracked jug and wipe yourself with a cloth that's been used 100 times. Your tunic is rough wool, woven tightly, and it smells faintly of mildew. You own 2 tunics, maybe 3 if you're fortunate. You rotate them carefully. You never wash them often. Water costs too much. Your sandals are cracked. The leather straps dig into your feet, but you lace them up anyway because the streets are worse. Stones slick with filth. Slop from chamber pots, flung from windows above. Dung always. Human, animal, it makes no difference. Rome is beautiful from afar, but up close, it stinks. You step outside and join the crowd. The street is barely wide enough for 2 carts to pass, and yet dozens of people press through it every minute. Slaves running errands, merchants dragging carts, children shouting, dogs barking, and the city guard already moving in pairs, watching. Pickpockets mingle with beggars. A man shouts about bread. Another throws a dead rat into the gutter. Your breath forms clouds in the early morning chill, but soon the sun will rise and bake the stones until they burn through your souls. You know where you need to be. Today is a salutatio, a morning ritual. You must visit your patron. You're a client, a cliens, like most of Rome's poor, and in this city, connections mean everything. Your patron, a well-born Roman with land, status, and political ambition, allows you to visit his atrium each morning. You line up with the others, dozens, sometimes hundreds. You will greet him, call him Domin, maybe flatter him. In return, he might give you a small coin, or bread, or promise to put in a word with someone someday. Sometimes he ignores you. You walk across the city, past marble buildings blackened with soot, past a bakery where the bread is being pulled from clay ovens, the scent rising thick and warm in the chill air. You might stop and buy a loaf, the coarse grey kind with bits of grit still baked in. If you have the coin, You finally arrive at your patron's domus, a large home nestled behind high walls, its entry guarded by a bored-looking porter. You shuffle inside, past the others. The floor is mosaicked. The atrium is open to the sky, a shallow pool of rainwater gleaming in the centre. Your patron sits, half-dressed, sipping watered wine. He barely looks up. You greet him, bow your head, and murmur your thanks for the opportunity to serve. He nods, distracted. Someone brings him figs. You are dismissed with a flick of the wrist and no coin. You leave quietly. It could have been worse. You heard of a man yesterday, one who tried to demand payment. He was beaten in the street by the patron's slaves. He won't be back for weeks. Outside again, you wander toward the forum. You are hungry, but not starving. Not yet. A piece of stale bread in your satchel helps. You chew slowly. The bread is hard, and you break it with your teeth as carefully as you can. Dental care doesn't exist, and you've already lost one molar to rot. You run your tongue over the gap. It aches. The Forum Romanum is alive already. Orators speak from platforms, their hands slicing through the air. Old men sit on stone benches, whispering politics. Vendors sell everything: fruit, fish, hot wine, leeches. There's a man walking a monkey on a chain, a girl with a basket of dyed wool, a man holding a sign offering cures. You walk past a statue of Augustus, staring down in marble perfection. His face is smooth, immortal. You wonder what he would think of you, lice-ridden, barefoot, trying to stay unseen. You wonder if he ever worried about bread, or fire, or skin infections. A slave walks past, dragging 2 amphorae. You make way, always make way. Slaves are everywhere. Rome runs on them. You were born free, but not much separates you from them. Debt, crime, or the wrong enemy. And you could be one of them tomorrow. You think of the Capitoline Hill not far from here, the Temple of Jupiter. You've never been inside. It's for the elite, for rituals and sacrifice. You have your gods too, the Lairs little figurines your mother kept by the hearth, but you don't have a hearth anymore. Just a single oil lamp and a cracked figurine tucked inside your sleeping mat. Mid-morning now. The sun climbs, the street heats up. You've walked miles. You have no job today. Day labour is sporadic. Maybe tomorrow someone will need help unloading a barge at the Tiber, or cleaning a villa courtyard, or hauling bricks. Your body aches already at the thought of it. You stop to drink. There's a public fountain nearby, carved into the shape of a lion's mouth. The water trickles cold and clear, but it's not always safe. Disease travels quickly in Rome. Dysentery, cholera. You've survived 2 outbreaks already. You've watched neighbours vomit themselves to death, curled in alleys, moaning for water. You drink anyway, carefully, slowly. A young man rushes past and bumps your shoulder. He's rich, clean tunic, oiled hair. He doesn't even look back. You consider yelling, but then you remember, you're poor, he isn't. That's all it takes. The guards would beat you if there was a complaint, not him. You brush off the dust and keep walking. Your stomach growls. Maybe you'll find a crust of bread in the gutter, or maybe someone at the temple will offer alms. You can pretend to pray. The priests don't care. They mutter Latin verses and stare blankly into the crowd. Gods are distant here. Real power is in coin and family and favours. You pass a group of children playing with dice. One of them wears a scrap of red wool around his neck, a charm to ward off illness. You used to wear one too. It didn't help when your sister caught the cough. She died before her 5th birthday. The fever burned her up. There was no medicine. There never is. The noon bells will soon echo from the basilicas. You sit down on a cracked step, lean against a warm wall, and close your eyes for a moment. You listen to the city breathe. Footsteps, distant chanting, a whip cracking in the marketplace, a baby crying, a man laughing. Rome is alive, loud, vast and uncaring, and you're part of it. One grain in the sand, one voice in the crowd, one citizen among a million. You're still alive, for now. And that is something. You open your eyes, brush the dust from your tunic and rise. There's always more day ahead. The sun stands high now, almost directly above you. Shadows shrink to the base of every column, every doorway. The warmth you felt earlier has become heat, thick, pressing, rising from the stone beneath your feet. Your tunic clings to you with sweat. The city is loud, always loud. Metal strikes metal. Hooves clatter. Vendors shout. You haven't eaten since early morning. And even then it wasn't much. A bit of bread, hard enough to crack a tooth. You remember hearing once that some people in the provinces eat soft white bread. Fluffy, sweet. You've never tasted anything like that. Not in Rome. You consider visiting a Peppina, one of the street-side food counters. There's one nearby, always busy, the marble counter stained with wine and ash. Inside, a man ladles steaming stew from a blackened pot into clay bowls. The smell is thick, lentils maybe, or salted fish paste. You're not sure, but your stomach growls at the thought. You hand over a coin and receive a small bowl in return. The stew is hot, salty. The texture is odd, chewy, soft, mushy all at once. Probably some parts of an animal not meant for the wealthy. Still, you eat it, quickly. You don't ask what's in it. There are no forks, just fingers and bread. You wipe the bowl clean with the crust and return it to the man, who grunts in acknowledgement. Your body is tired already. Every joint aches. But in Rome, there is no luxury of rest unless you've earned it. And you haven't earned anything today. Not yet. You wander a while longer, passing the shadows of temples and arches. A man is being beaten with a switch outside the temple of Castor and Pollux. His tunic is torn, and blood stripes his back. You don't know what he did. No one stops to help. The guards look bored. There's a crowd gathered outside a basilica. A speech. Some senator, flushed and red-faced, shouting about tax grain and treason. No one listens for long. People have heard it all before. You catch bits and pieces, names, cities, prices. You don't understand most of it. Politics is for those who can afford it. Your own life runs on different worries. You glance down an alley, a young boy rifling through refuse, looking for something edible. Nearby, an old woman mutters to herself, clutching a bundle of sticks. Her eyes are milky. She's likely blind. You keep walking. Eventually you make your way to the Thermae, the public baths. They're not far. Rome has dozens. This one is smaller than the grand complexes you've heard about. Not the baths of a Caracalla or Diocletian, but it's still beautiful. A marble facade, arches painted with fading gods. You enter through a wide atrium where men stand half-dressed, chatting. The air is humid, warm. You pay a few coins, not much, and a slave takes your sandals. Another gives you a small pot of oil. There's no soap in Rome. Instead, you smear your skin with olive oil. Let the heat open your pores, and then scrape the oil and dirt off with a curved bronze blade, a strigil. It leaves red lines on your skin. If you're too rough, it bleeds. You enter the tepidarium first, the warm room. The stone floor is heated from beneath. The walls sweat. Voices echo softly off the tiles. Then comes the caldarium, hot, almost scalding. You sit on a bench and try to relax, but your skin prickles. The heat is suffocating. The steam clings to your lungs. A man next to you coughs. You try not to look. Finally, the frigidarium. Cold water, relief. You wade in, shivering. The pool smells faintly of mildew and oil. You wonder how often the water is changed. Probably not often, but it cools your skin and your thoughts quiet for a moment. In this space, men talk. Politics, gossip, family, everything. You listen. Someone nearby jokes about the new gladiator games, another bloodbath promised in the arena. Someone else mentions an arrest, a tax dispute, a grain shipment lost at sea. There's always something. You dry yourself with a cloth that smells of vinegar, dress again, and step back into the light. It's even hotter now. The streets shimmer. A wave of heat rolls off the paving stones. The air smells of dust and something rotting. Probably spoiled fish or a dead dog nearby. You try not to notice. Most people have retreated indoors. Midday is a time for rest. Even the markets have grown quieter. You walk through the quieter parts of the Subura, the city's tightly packed, noisy, lower-class district. The buildings lean toward each other like tired old men. Laundry hangs overhead, catching what little breeze there is. You pass homes with open doors. Inside some sleep, some drink, some fight. You climb back to your apartment. The stairs creak. Someone has urinated in the corner again. You step over it. Back in your room, you lie on the floor near the window. The stone is cool. You close your eyes. It's too hot to think, but your mind drifts anyway. You think about what you've seen, about the man being whipped, the boy in the alley, the blind woman. You wonder if you'll end up like them. Maybe you already are. You think about your sister, your father, about the patron who didn't even look you in the eye this morning. You dream for a few minutes, maybe longer. You're woken by the sound of voices, high and loud. A fight in the alley below. Someone shouting. Someone else screams. Then a door slams, and all goes quiet again. You sit up slowly. Your mouth is dry. You take a sip of water from the jug. It's warm now, slightly sour, but it's something. You hear a bell in the distance. The afternoon is passing. You stand, stretch, and look out the window. Rome stretches in every direction. Rooftops, towers, smoke, birds. In the distance, the Palatine Hill gleams in the sun, crowned with villas and temples. You will never live there, but still you look. A neighbour knocks, a woman. She needs help carrying water. You nod, grab the bucket, and follow her down. Because even in Rome, even for those barely surviving, life goes on. Evening comes slowly in Rome. The sky dims from blue to dusty gold, then orange. The sun sets behind the hills, casting long shadows between temples and rooftops. The clamour of the day softens, but never disappears. Rome never truly sleeps. You've returned from hauling water. Your arms ache. The bucket was heavy, the climb up endless stairs heavier. The woman, your neighbour, gave you half a loaf of bread in thanks. It was stale, but you ate it anyway. You're not proud. You can't afford to be. Inside your insula the heat lingers. The walls trap it. You open the small window and sit beside it, hoping for a breeze. There is none. Instead, you smell smoke. Someone's cooking over a small clay stove. Probably lentils again, maybe onions. It burns your throat a little. You light your oil lamp. The wick is old. The flame flickers yellow, then settles. Its smell is faintly sweet, like burned olives. You stare at it for a moment, mesmerised by the dance of the fire. It's one of the few quiet things in your life. You wish you could wash. You're sticky with sweat. The public fountains are miles away. and too crowded at this hour. So you pour a little water from your jug into a clay bowl, soak a cloth, and wipe your face, then your arms. The water turns brown quickly. You toss it out the window. From the alley below comes the bark of a dog, then laughter. Someone's telling a story in the next apartment. Something about a merchant who slipped on spilled garum and fell into his own cart. It's not funny, but you smile anyway. Even bad jokes are better than silence. You prepare your evening meal, if it can be called that. Tonight, you've managed to scrape together a stew, a thin mix of barley, leeks, and maybe a scrap of pig's foot. It boiled for half an hour over your neighbour's flame. You eat it from a chipped bowl sitting on your bed. There's no table, no spoons, just your fingers and a piece of crusty bread to scoop it. You chew slowly. The meat is chewy, the barley undercooked, but it's warm, and it fills your stomach, at least for a while. You think of the wealthy, dining in reclining rooms, surrounded by marble and mosaics, eating fish soaked in saffron, honey-roasted dormice, and figs stuffed with nuts. You've never tasted any of that. You probably never will. A child cries somewhere above you. Loud footsteps stomp down the stairs. A door slams, then silence again. Your body hurts. Your feet, your back, your hands. You're young, but already you feel old. Your fingers are calloused, your nails chipped. Your skin is sun-dark and cracked in places. You look down at your legs and trace the bruises from a fall last week. A loose stone in the street caught your sandal. You went down hard. You're lucky nothing broke. You drink wine, not the good kind, not even close. It's mixed with water, cloudy, sour, but you drink it anyway, because the water might kill you, and the wine at least keeps the hunger away for a little while. As the night deepens, you step outside. The sky above is a tapestry of stars. You rarely look up, but tonight you do. The moon is rising, pale and distant. The rooftops glow in its light. Down the street a man sings. His voice is slurred. He's drunk. He sings about Mars and women and war. You lean against the wall and listen. A cart rumbles past, a dog growls. Somewhere not far away, a baby is born, or dies. It's hard to tell from the sound. You return inside, the lamp still burns. You remember the stories your mother used to tell, about Rome's greatness, about how the gods shaped the city, protected it, about Romulus and Remus, suckled by a wolf, rising to build the greatest city the world would ever know. You wonder what they would think if they saw it now. The rot, the filth, the noise, the forgotten ones. You lie down, not on a bed, but a mat. You wrap your thin blanket around your shoulders. It's full of holes, but it's yours. You curl your knees to your chest. Your side touches the cold wall. It's almost comforting. Before you drift to sleep, you hear someone whispering nearby. A prayer, maybe. To Jupiter or Vesta or Fortuna, asking for health, for a better day tomorrow, for a way out. You don't pray much, but tonight you close your eyes and think, just let me wake up. Let the building stay standing. Let my stomach not ache. Let the lice be few. Let the fire not come. The city hums in the distance, the low murmur of voices, footsteps, the creak of wooden beams. Rome holds its breath as another day dies. You are still here. You have survived, but only just. Thank you for listening. The video will continue to play the rain sounds for you to fall asleep to.